Hello, it's Andrew from Android Central again. I am doing a tutorial on how to compile ice cream sandwich for your ice cream sandwich ready device, which would be basically a Nexus device or Xoom tablet. Now, we're going to be following GB Hill's tutorial here on Android Central in the hacking forums. So if you want to actually pull up this site, you can just go to the forums and go to Android Advanced Hacking, and then it's the How to Compile Ice Cream Sandwich AOSP 4.0.3 on a Xoom G-Nex Nexus S. And we're going to be following this tutorial pretty much step by step. I'm going to give you little hints on how to get it to successfully build on the first time without any issues. Okay, so first thing you're going to need to do is what I highly recommend, instead of using a virtual machine, which I'm going to be using for the tutorial so you can see it, I highly recommend you partition your hard drive. If you're using a Mac, what you're going to do is just go into your utilities and go into disk utility, and you want to set up another partition. So I have here, if you go to partitions, you see I have one for EFI that automatically gets created when you download and install EFI or REFI DT or RFEIT. Sorry, you're going to need that as like a bootloader if you're going to be doing it this way and not in a virtual machine. You can just Google this and download and install it. Basically, when you boot up your computer, it will allow you to select either to boot up in Mac or boot up in Linux. Once you do that, you're not going to have a Linux partition yet. Now, next thing you need to do is go over here and create a Linux partition. I have a 54 gigabyte Linux partition that's here. Recovery HD, if you have Lion, that gets added, so that's why that's there. That's a Mac thing, Mac, and then these are the two things we're going to be downloading or creating. The EFI is automatic. You don't have to do anything for that. Once you install here, I can actually mount it for you so you see what it looks like. And you just double click this, go through your regular, as if you're just installing a regular application on Mac, and you get basically a bootloader. Now, I can't show you that and do this tutorial at the same time, so but it's pretty simple. All you do is install that, and you already have it set up. Next thing you want to do is you want to add a partition. So you're going to click this little positive button down here, and make one of decent size. I picked 50 gigs for a reason. I like having plenty of space when I'm going to be doing something like this. But I highly recommend you do that. You can do it in a virtual machine, as I'll show you right now. And if you're going to do that, I recommend Parallels, because I have not been able to get anything to work on VirtualBox for a few days. I tried, and then went to Parallels and figured it out relatively quickly. One thing, if you're going to use VirtualBox, your repo won't sync, which is a future step I'll show you later, unless you switch your settings in VirtualBox. So if you want to use VirtualBox, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I just won't recommend it. You're going to want to go into your settings for your virtual device, and under networking, you have to switch this from NAT to bridged adapter. And then once you do that, you have to turn on, go under System Preferences, Sharing. You have to share your internet settings and enable everything. But this has to be checked. So if I do that, you'll see Start, click Start. That will at least let you get to downloading the repo on VirtualBox. If you don't do that, you will download most of the repo, but it fails at the same two places over and over and over again. And it's quite annoying trying to figure that out. So heads up, at least you can get the repo to sync that way. Another thing you're going to need is Ubuntu 10.04 long-term support, LTS. You can grab that by just Googling it, and The first link I think that pops up is just the Ubuntu website. Now, use the 64-bit operating system. If you only have a 32-bit operating system, then you'll have to use the 32-bit operating system. But I won't cover the tools you'll need to download for the 32-bit. I'm just going to go over the tools for the 64-bit. Okay, so once you have that, you burn it onto a CD if you're going to do the partition. Otherwise, don't waste the disk. If you're going to use a virtual machine, just load it up on as a virtual machine. Now, I already have it loaded, but when you're setting it up, you just go through your typical setup. There's nothing special you have to do. Just your typical, whatever you made for the size of the partition, and leave your swap or everything alone. Don't change it. It works fine without it. One thing I will point out, it is incredibly slow. On I have a MacBook 2.4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. Oops, wrong one. And it took me over 10 hours to build it today for the Nexus S, or the Galaxy Nexus. Yeah, if you don't mind spending that kind of time, sure, why not? Go ahead. Use the Parallels. Otherwise, using its own dedicated operating system from the hard drive, it took me like maybe 2-3 hours max to build it once I had the repo synced. So, yeah. I had started at 9:30 this morning, and somewhere around 7:30-ish, it finished. It took forever. Not to mention that the computer is pretty much unusable while you're doing it. So, okay, here we go. Now we have, this is your first thing you're going to see once you have the operating system installed. Don't install any updates. It's not necessary if this is just your sole purpose of it. It should be fine. First thing you want to make sure you know is what you named your computer. I named it Android Tutor, so I need to know that for a future step. But we're going to create these folders here later on and everything like that. Now, we'll pull up the tutorial in here. It's pretty much, once you have this set up, it's a copy-paste event. Restore. Since I already have it up. Now, first step to do is you want to get Java 6 JDK installed. Now, what you do is you're going to need to open up Terminal, which in here it's going to be under Accessories and then Terminal. And you're going to need to know your password that you set up for the computer. So it's not just like ABCB, but make sure you set a genuine password that you will remember, because you're going to need it for these commands here. Now we're going to type in sudo add apt repository space parentheses, quotes, deb space http://archive Canonical, which is the company that who distributes Ubuntu.com /space lucid partner quotation. Now this is why you need to know your password, because this is a super user do command. su do. Super user do. Now I'm going to enter my password, which you can't see, and then you need to get the update. So sudo. You only need the password for the first one, by the way. It remembers that you're running on a super user level. Apt get update. I already have it installed, so this is going to take kind of quickly. It's not going to actually install anything. It's going to say, oh, you already have it. But okay. Next thing is sudo apt get install sun Java 6 JDK I already have it, but once you do this, you hit yes or Y for yes, then you get kind of an old-fashioned computer like install screen. I don't know if you ever had Microsoft DOS and you installed programs, but it's like a really old school type of installer. You know, you just agree and then yes, and then it installs. It takes a little bit of time, not too long. This is going to take a little bit longer, but still not very long. What you want to do is just copy this because there's no point in typing this out individually. So just copy, paste. You can do that above, it's fine. These are the tools that you're going to need to build Android. So this is still sudo apt get. So this is the get the app, and then install. So we're going to install each one of these packages, and then from here, these are all different packages specific that are needed for Android building. I already have them all installed, so 121 not upgraded because they're not new. Next thing you want to do is load up Nano. Nano is it's a text editor built into, like you can use Terminal for. I'm going to change this command because I already did it. But you're going to type in sudo nano and then copy all this stuff right in here and put it in a box. Now, I already have it, so I'm going to show you, I'll show you the command to actually open up a file. So I'll do sudo nano -w, which means we're going to write it, and then the file name is /etc udev rules/51-android.rules. And here's basically, I created this file. This is what you do here. I already typed in the sudo nano, and you get a blank text. You copy, you paste it, and then you have to see this little username that's in red. You have to actually change that. You have to put in your username for Ubuntu. So mine is Android Tutor, so you put it in there. Now, if you're only going to be making for one device, you don't need to do all of this. You only need to pick out the ones for your device, which, fortunately, they're named, like Galaxy Nexus, PandaBoard, which PandaBoard, if you need this tutorial, you don't need PandaBoard. Xoom, which the Motorola Xoom, Nexus S, and the Nexus 1. These are basically not drivers, but permissions allowed so that you can use both fast boot and ADB, so you can actually transfer these files to your device later on. Now, if you are just going to upload your file to an online storage, which is what I did, you don't need this. It's actually an optional step for that part, because we're going to make a zip file, so you can actually just download the zip, put it onto the SD card of the phone or tablet or whatever, and you can flash it that way. It's just an update zip. So this is essentially an optional step. If you're going to transfer it through ADB or through fastboot, sure, let's do this step. If not, it's not really necessary. Now the next part is we need to now set up see this update manager. I haven't installed any updates and the build's fine, so don't install any updates. We need to make the directory bin. I've already made it, so let me exit this. So Control X. If you made any changes or you created a new thing, it brings you up another window to save it. Hit yes, and then under the window to save the file, you're going to actually put this right here. You just copy this part right here, and that saves a file in a root folder with the Android rule, so that it allows you to connect your device via USB and transfer the files that way. You're going to need to do that step again right afterwards with we're going to edit a file, and that's your path. Essentially add it to your path. But right now what we need to do is create the folder bin, because that's where the repo repository file is going to go, so that to kind of cross-reference the thing. So that folder is going to end up here, and you can see there's just a repo file in there. I've already done this, so I mean, I'm not going to make the directory, but mkdir is make directory, which is essentially make a folder, and then you just name it and where you're going to put it. So this is your home folder, and then we're going to put the folder bin inside your home folder. So that's what that does. I'm not going to do it. But then the next step is nano -w tilde slash dot bash rc, and see, we're going to write, which is the -w, and we're going to use nano, that's the program, and we're going to edit the file dot bash rc. It's a hidden file in your home directory, which, so if you go here, you're not going to see it, but if you hit Control H, you can see it now. Yeah, where is it? .bash rc, it's right here. Control H hides it again. Because it starts with a period, it's a hidden file. Now you just want to scroll to the bottom and copy this 2 lines right here, add it to the bottom. I actually forgot that I renamed this from Android to Android Tutor. So, and then hit Control X. Now here's the save. Do I want to save the changes? Absolutely. And then here's the file. If you're going to create a new file, you enter in the file there. If you're editing a file that already exists, you just hit enter. Boom. Done. Next step we're going to do is now downloading the source. I fortunately have already done this because this takes about 2 hours, or give or take an hour or so. But here's the repo that we need to download. I can actually just download it again. It makes no difference to me since I already have it. But just copy and paste it. And that file downloaded 100% at 145K speed. Now we want to chmod a plus x. Chmod means change mode. You can actually look up what a plus x means. And bin repo. So this is the file that we downloaded. So that step essentially is putting inside your bin folder this repo file. That's what downloaded real quick. It's a small file actually. It doesn't take very long. Next thing you want to do is make your directory that you're going to build Android in. It really does not matter what you name this file. Jerry names it MyAOSP. You can name it MyAOSP. You can follow Google's advice and name it Working Directory. Doesn't matter as long as you remember what you called it. I named it MyAOSP just to keep it with the thing. We're going to just type in make directory mkdir. I did MyAOSP. I can make a file working directory, and you can actually see it. You'll see it pop up underneath. See, boom! That file just popped up. So that's all that step is. This is essentially the same thing as you'll create folder and you title it working directory. That's the exact same thing. Move to trash. Move to trash because we're not going to need those files. Okay, next thing you need to do is now change directory cd. Now you need to go into that folder. So cd, I have it MyAOSP. Blah. Now we need to download the source. You can just copy and paste it, but this is essentially setting up the source. Here, copy paste. Now this is going to be specific for 4.0.3 release 1. You may have to reboot your computer after you do this step. sometimes the repo sync will not work after you do this. You may have to reboot, just a FYI. If it gives you, like, doesn't recognize repo as a command, just reboot the computer. It should work. All you do is CD back into this folder again once your computer is rebooted, and you're good to go. Next thing to do is to sync the repo. So you just type in repo sync. And I already have it downloaded, fortunately. So this, you can see, fetching projects is essentially your progress. Once it's already done 100%, there's a few more steps, and I can show you what this does. While you're doing the first sync, you'll see nothing here. None of this will be here. This shows up at the very last step of the repo sync, after you've already downloaded all the files. It basically puts it into a hidden file first, and then loads it up afterwards. It syncs the trees and everything like that. So this is what you see after you do your repo sync. One file that's different is this file, which we download later. But once this is done, we need to make sure that what we have is from Google, and we can verify it if we needed to. Now that's what this GPG import is. You're going to copy that. This is going to take hours. Just FYI, this is going to take 2 hours. So, I don't know, get a coffee or something like that, watch a movie. If it fails, just do it again. You can actually type in repo sync-f if it fails, and you know, I've had success with that command as well. Now I already have this key in there, so I'll just show you what to do. This takes a little bit of time, but it's not long. This is actually really making no changes. It's just, you know, making sure everything is where it should be. If would it be faster if you were to just download a zip file with all this stuff in it? Absolutely. But the nice thing about repo syncs is that when Google changes a file location or something like that, all you do is repo sync, and it just moves the file, downloads new files, whatever. You don't have to re-download a whole nother zip or anything like that. Now, this is over 2 gigs of data alone, so FYI, hope you're on a connected landline. That will make things a lot faster. Wi-Fi does work if you have a fast enough internet connection. This is something I definitely wouldn't recommend you tethering in 3G to do. Just a FYI. I mean, you could do it. I would hope you had a data plan if you're going to do something like that, but it's not recommended. Don't do it. Just wait till you get to a Wi-Fi connection that you're going to have stable Wi-Fi for a few hours. And the waiting game. Now, I'm going to start a build, but I'm not going to finish it. I'll just show you where the file ends up, because since I already have a build in my my virtual machine. I also have one that I built on the hard drive, basically booting into a whole separate Ubuntu partition. That one compiled more than twice faster, just FYI. I'm only doing this to show you that it can be done through a virtual machine, and that it's possible. But if you're not running a Core i7 processor, don't do it. Even tell you at the beginning of this tutorial, it took an MSI netbook, which had a dedicated Ubuntu running on it, not a virtual machine. It took 30 hours on it. So it's going to take you a while. It's not going to be something that you do while you're running out the door. So next thing we're going to do is now import the keys. We've already done it, but you can see what you do. And then you're going to get you actually get a different prompt the first time you sorry. So copy this, put it into terminal here, just paste, and you hit Control D twice. The tutorial says once, but for some reason doing it twice works for me. Just FYI. That's what you're going to see once you've imported the key. Now, next thing you want to do is set up your cache size for your build. You can just copy this. This is doing a 50 gigabyte cache file, cache limit. So set cache limit to essentially 50 gigabytes, and that's how many bits there that is. Next thing you need is the files for your specific device. Now, I already have the file downloaded for the Galaxy Nexus, and it's only one file, which is actually kind of nice. That you're going to want to download it. It's a zip file, or tarball file, sorry. And you're going to see this. Just open it with the archive manager, that's fine. And what you're going to do is when that pops up, extract it to your whatever file you're going to build it. I've already extracted it there. It's this file right here. You don't need to do anything else. Just exit out of that, because the next step is we're going to need to extract it. Now, if you have one of these other devices, download all those files and extract it, and then you're going to run these one at a time. Unless you have the Nexus S 4G, you're going to need to also make sign APK. So the command for that is just /, and you just grab the file name. Since I already have this up, we're going to do extract dash imgtec dash Toro, which is the Verizon Galaxy Nexus .sh. And you have to agree to the license. Now, you have to hit enter, and then hit enter throughout all of this. And just a little hint, there's 8 sections, and the last section, 8, has E is the last one. So C, D, E, and then E once, hit enter. If you hit enter again, you didn't accept the terms, you have to redo all that crap again. Now, it's all in caps, I accept. Boom, done. Now, the next step after that, basically that puts a file onto the inside your building directory. Now, the next thing is to build. It's really that simple now. Now we're going to make clobber. And this is basically cleaning your past builds if you did anything. We're going to build 4.0.3. We haven't specified a device yet, but host OS is Linux. We're building on an x86, which is an Intel type processor. And this, you just wait, because you have to wait for your next prompt. See? There we go. Now, source space build / env setup.sh. Now, the next step is going to get a little bit tricky. It's just launch is the command, but now you have to pick your device. Now, if you don't know what your device is, that's why this little cheat sheet is here for. I have the Verizon Galaxy Nexus, so mine's the Toro, so I am going to hit 9. Hit enter. And the next command is the last step. Make OTA package -J, and then this next part is your processor. So it's how many threads you can open up. You have a dual core processor that's modern day. Like this is a Core 2 Duo. It's got two-way processing on each processor core. I can do 4. Because I have 2 cores and I can open up 2 threads for each core. So I would do -J4. If you have a Core i7 processor, you can do 8. Now if you're running Dual quad cores with like a Xeon cores, like you can do negative J16. You know, it's just if you specify it that way, it becomes a lot more personalized and a little bit. It builds a little bit faster for your computer. You can just do make OTA package negative J1 or just leave that out and it would still work. It just will take a lot longer. This is more of a customized for your machine that you're building it on, how you can do it. Now, I'm not going to build it since I've already built it, so I'll just show you where that file ends up now. You leave it for a few hours. In my case, since I did it today, it took me 10 hours. I'm kind of pissed about that, but whatever. Oh crap. I cleared out the the build folder. Alright, so I'm going to build it real quick. I actually will have to build it since the out file is not there. So I'll end up having to do this. So make, cd my AOSP, make clobber, and that cleaned up basically what I just did, so that's why. Alright, I have to pull it up again. I don't memorize the commands to build. Sorry, I'm bad. And here we go, it's building. This is going to take me quite a while on here. I've already built it. I can actually show you the file that I have built up. Dropbox. You can see the computer runs a lot slower once you start building. Things take forever. Hang on, I'll just download the file real quick. Okay, so here's my file that I downloaded from my Dropbox account. You can see the naming. It's just full tour over the air engineering build, and then the name of the computer, which I have it named just my first name, Andrew. Here's it building, and it's going to take a while. And then where that file gets saved, I can actually show you now, because now it started building. That file's now there. It's this out, target, product, and then your device will be here that you're compiling for. And then you'll have a zip file in here as well as a bunch of other files that are going to get built. The over-the-air package is going to be the only zip file. There's going to be a couple other files that look like it, RAM disk and system image or something like that, I believe are the other two that look like it, but the only one that's going to be of concern for you is the final product, which is the over-the-air package, which is the zip file. Okay, and that's how to build on or build an ice cream sandwich 4.0.3. Thank you very much, GB Hill, or Jerry, if you know him. Is a wonderful guy. All right. Peace.